What is up, RC enthusiasts? Today we got this XK Heli right here to review. Now I do like RC helicopters. If you guys know me or have actually been watching my channel for a while, I do mention that I do like, touring cars. That's what got me into RCs, and then buggies and truggies and short course trucks, and helicopters as well was one of my first RC loves. This is back then when it was still, not flybarless like these are now, which is cool because you can get these toy ones now that are even flybarless as this one is, and brushless main motor on this one as well. It still has a brush tail motor, but brushless main motor. And for the price of this thing, that's pretty amazing. Because I don't know if you guys can tell up here in the corner, I have a Blade MCPX BL. This is an old school one. That's full brushless tail and main motor. So that right there was good technology for back in the day, but now where we're at today, that technology has made it down to the cheaper stuff. And now we have 6-axis gyro on this one, so it's stabilized, which means this only has kind of like if you fly drones, it only has like a horizon mode, so it's always self-leveling. So it kind of flies like a drone. This is made by XK Heli. They do make some really good helis, and the detail on this thing is pretty awesome. So let's check it out. So upon opening it, you can tell we get the heli in the box right here, nicely packaged, your instruction booklet, and a nice little heli landing pad. Can double up as a mouse pad as well because it feels like a mouse pad. So there you go, free mouse pad or heli landing pad. In the package, of course, you're gonna get your nicely detailed heli. Look at that guy. That thing looks nice. And a disclaimer, I did take this out of the box and fly it already, and you will see some scrapes on the blades. I do have 4 crashes on this because I was testing it around and trying to see how durable it was. But I don't know why I didn't record it. I was just having so much fun. I took it out of the box, started flying it. It's a very flexible plastic. It just feels very stiff because it's all screwed in together. But it actually handled a pretty good crash. I actually had some glue holding on part of this tail in place right now. So yeah, just an honest review right here, letting you guys know that I was too excited to wait to actually record this, and I had more time to play than record that day. So I went out and played with this sucker. And it comes with a 1S LiPo, 800 milliamp hour. That's what runs this. And it comes up front here, and it just slides in here, and then you just plug it in to turn on the helicopter. And you'll get your transmitter as well right here, and this is mode 1 and mode 2 capable. And instructions in the booklet, it will show you how to switch from mode 1 and mode 2 on this one. That just means that you have your throttle and everything on this side, and your cyclic controls on this side, and you could switch it from cyclic on this side and elevator control on this side. On the top right here, we have a self takeoff and land, and then we have 3 rates, 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what these other 2 buttons do. There are buttons there, but I don't think they do anything. So we have 3 rates, and we have takeoff. Then we have the on and off right here. The only thing I don't like about this transmitter, especially now in 2025, we have 6 AA's. I'm pretty sure they could have gone with 4, because XK Heli has some nicer transmitters than this, with LCD screens on them that have 4 batteries in them. This is 100% collective pitch helicopter. It just can't fly inverted or anything. So the pitch of the blades is actually what makes the heli go up and down. It doesn't increase the speed of the motor or anything. So it's that, and you have full cyclic control, front, rear, side to side. So full control and also rudder control for yaw. So that's pretty cool. It does all the heli stuff, and with a gyro, it should be easy to fly for almost anyone. Like I said, this thing will probably fly more like a drone than an old school heli, or if you've been into the heli ever since back then, before the drones even came out, this is going to fly a little bit different than what you're used to. But the detail on this one is so nice, and the price is nice as well. You have yourself a stand. Of course, you're going to want to put the front end on, and you're going to have a stand to display your nice 4-bladed helicopter, scale helicopter that is. This is a Black Hawk military helicopter, if you guys haven't noticed, and it's probably in the video description, so you guys probably already know what this is. And in this bag, you're going to have 4 extra blades, rotor blades, that are all black. You're going to have an extra tail rotor, and you're going to have an extra main gear as well in here. And you will have a screwdriver and an Allen wrench, or an Allen hex wrench, to do all that work with. So it provides everything to get everything done. There are a lot of screws to remove to get to that main gear though. Here we have our flight controller board. Then here we have our brushless outrunner motor. That's gear driven. And down here we have the brushless ESC for the brushless motor. And we have our 3-wire micro servos, 3 of them, for your cyclic servos. There's your swash plate, and obviously right here, flybarless. And here's your brushed rear tail motor. And before we get started with that montage, check out those wheels. Those are actual plastic wheels with rubber tires on them. That's actual rubber right there. So that's pretty cool. Same with the rear. So that's some scale detail right there. So now that I have the helicopter plugged in, as you can tell, the lights are blinking. I can turn on the transmitter, and I can press up and down like a drone, and that binds it. As you can tell, cyclic controls are working, the elevator, and now I have my full cyclic aileron and roll, pitch and roll. And obviously my yaw won't work right now because that's a brush motor that's not on, and nothing's on. And now that it's binded, you're going to want to put both these sticks down to the right. You can see it blinks until it's solid again, and that means now the gyros have been calibrated. So now hopefully it's leveled and everything, and it should fly pretty level. If it doesn't, you have your trim buttons here, left and right, up and down, and your tail. I don't think this one works right here, the elevator one, or up and down, but the tail rotor for the yaw works, and so does your pitch controls for your trims. So to get the rotors to spin up, you push both of these outwards, down and out, just like a drone, and it starts the motors. So down and out. There you go. And when it stops blinking like that, it means it's ready, and you can press up to take off, or that to take off. Now I'm going to go ahead and press up with this because I don't want to accidentally press this and have this shoot up to the ceiling, so here we go. Whoa, it shot up pretty fast there. Trying to keep it in frame. Let's see if I can get it in frame. There it is. So it flies pretty stable. I am, it needs some trim, but I'm not going to do that right now in video. I'm just going to adjust it with my fingers. I am on the rate 1. And man, even with all the blade wash in my small little room and everything, it's flying really nice. And it's self-leveling, so your throttle stick is going to be in the center. You can tell this thing flies really smooth. But if I let go of the stick really abruptly, it does all the drone stuff for self-leveling. Look at that. But she flies good. See if I can fly it around without crashing it, or at least get it to yaw to the front. So you guys can see the front of it. Whoa, whoa. Blade wash is getting to me. Blade wash is getting to me. A lot of prop wash and wind coming on right now. Let's try to stabilize her out a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend trying this. Maybe I'll put a video out there on open space. There's very little room in my room. And yeah, I am really working hard to keep this stable, right in frame hopefully. But the blade wash is starting to get crazy in this room now. I could actually feel the wind in this room now because it's so small. Well, there you guys go. Let me see if I can land it. I don't know why I yawed that way. Let's yaw back this way. And let's land this sucker. Come on. Try to be as stable as possible. Oh man. The blade wash. Alright. Coming in for a landing. That's close. That's close. And then you just hold the stick all the way down and the motor shuts off. And that's pretty much it. You just unplug it and turn it off and you're done. The thing's pretty nice. Now, try to fly it again just a little. This thing will fly for about 8 minutes, I believe, hovering around. Obviously, if you're going to fly a little faster and move around, it might eat up a little bit more, but hovering around, you get about 8 minutes with this guy. Not bad. Whoa. So if you're trying to fly really scale, I mean, it's really stable in the air. But takeoffs and landings, you're going to have a hard time getting very scale. The controls are not that accurate. Not like a Blade MCPX or a more scale Blade Heli with better controls. Just a little bit better electronics. But I mean, for the money, I think this thing is in the $80 range. You can find it 4 places. Man, you can't go wrong. It flies pretty nice. I mean, if I could trim it out real quick, I could hands off this thing. Let me try it. So I trimmed it out a little bit. And I'm going to try to get, there you go, look, hands-free flying right now. That's not bad at all. Remember, there's a lot of prop wash in this tiny little room. I'm not even sure if you guys can hear me. I'm trying to talk above this helicopter right now, but yeah, flies pretty nice, if you ask me. Not too shabby. Oh no! Oh, I almost hit my crawlers back there. That would have been a crash. Alright, let's land this guy before it gets hectic in here. Yeah, the only thing I wish it had was an emergency shutoff, something you can press so it turns it off instantly. I don't see any of that in this controller whatsoever. I've tried pressing stuff to see if I can get it to shut off instantly, but the only way it shuts off instantly is in my hand. If I hold it in my hand and spin it up and press the land button, it shuts it off instantly for some reason there. But if it's flying in the air and I press the land, it'll still land slowly, and I still have to control the cyclic to get it to land where I want it to land, and it'll land and then shut the motors off. That's the only thing I wish it had, was an emergency shutoff to stop those blades immediately from damaging the helicopter. But like I said, I've crashed this thing 4 times and still nothing. And the only reason I've been crashing is because, like I said, I've been flying it in a tiny little space. And obviously when you fly something new that you haven't flown in a while with a controller you haven't flown with ever, you're going to have a learning curve even though you've flown before. It's different from my Spectrum transmitters and my Blade helicopters that I've been used to. It's a little different, but still, in my opinion, flies good. So in my opinion, if you're a beginner trying to pick this up, go ahead and pick it up. Just fly outdoors, and just remember, you're going to need some space so you don't crash into things. And it is a learning curve to it. It does fly kind of like a drone, so that's a good thing about it. But other than that, it can take some hits, and it's been pretty good. And it is flying pretty nice still after all those hits. As you can tell, I haven't even replaced any of those blades or anything. They're all scraped up. Let me see if I can try to get a close-up for you guys for the damage I've made already. There you go. That's the glue damage I've had to do right there, and that's it. Glue that back on, and she flies great. And in my opinion, yes, definitely worth it for the price, and man, is it a looker. Well, alright guys, thanks for watching as usual, and as always, stay safe out there, go have fun, and run that RC.